Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Nilan?
I am I am good. I say that with all the knocks on wood, but I'm good. Don't let me know.
Hi. Hello,
Hi,
Al. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
I'm good. Sorry, I'm on CP time, y'all. My bad.
No problem, no problem. Um, so to all of our listeners, hi everyone. I'm Al Parker. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm an artistic associate for the Parsnip Ship. And I'm so pleased to have y'all, Nilan, our director of this wonderful episode, and Alisha Espinosa was one of our phenomenal cast members. And I'm just gonna step out of the way and let y'all do your thing. So looking forward to hearing y'all chat a little bit before we get into this episode.
Awesome. Thanks, Al.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely big thank you to the Parsnip Ship for really ushering this piece out into the world and have been collecting a lovely audience of Philip Gregory Burke's work. A Holy Her is a part of his a cycle of plays that is looking at Black spirituality. And he would say, and Alisha, you can maybe comment to this, that he would say that it doesn't center whiteness, ain't no white people in it.
Yes, Philip would definitely emphasize that because he'd like you to know that even before you start the play, you should be aware.
And I would say, more importantly, that it shows periods of time that we don't get because we know why, of racism and superiority, etc. But where Blackness is thriving, he makes these beautiful fictioned moments in a nonfiction space, and I'm really appreciative of him for doing that.
Yeah, because we don't get to do period unless it's like, colorblind casting some white man's play in their period. So it's always lovely to just work on a piece that's like richly in a time period that we don't get to talk about. It's been erased from us for a lot of reasons.
In pre-Revolutionary War, we were here as we were building a country. But like, what were we talking about? And I'm deeply satisfied with Philip has made. So I'm excited that you all get to hear that soon. I would also say that, we've been in this pandemic, and it's moved us. I will say I've been thinking about this piece a lot, and pieces like Lovecraft Country, pieces I May Destroy You. Me and Alisha have been talking about them, and I've just been looking at the way we've been painting Blackness, and it's so much to the contemporary what Philip's been doing. We've been not creating space. We've been revealing space that we've taken up already, and just how it looks on us. And I'm really happy that that's happening right now in the world at large, because we need it. We need it with every group of people to continue to show the continuum of how we are, instead of this distant peekaboo space.
Well, and revealing space in a way that's like fully Black, but also taking up space that has thus far, just take sci-fi, for instance, right? Been deemed as a space only for the neutrality of whiteness, for characters who are neutral in their whiteness. So that is universality. And I think, the reason we've been talking about Lovecraft and I May Destroy You so much is because in its specificity, it proves that the only true universality can be achieved through being incredibly specific to your characters, to who they are, and to their circumstances. And it is the circumstances of life that make everything universal, not the color of one's skin.
Absolutely. I mean, I think those reasons are why I was drawn. Philip introduced me to this play as we were like meeting, writing, and sharing our writing with each other. And as I kept seeing this piece in front of me, I was deeply I don't know. I can't compare it to anything else because I just like even when we do Shakespeare, right? It's a casting concept when we put all black people inside of King John or King Henry or any of his works, right? And Philip brought to the table it just is. You're on this land. These are your stories. These are your concerns. And it was really lovely to Cherrye, Daralyn. It was just lovely to have a cast of people who were game to play in that world.
Oh yeah, just big shout out to Cherrye and Daralyn. You know, and I think that's what's beautiful about it is being able to be a Black woman and walk into a play that doesn't require you to question yourself or the reason you're there.
Oh, speak on that.
You're just there, you know, like you enter a Shakespeare, you enter a Moliere, you enter any of these plays. You know, I remember People's Light did that Diary of Anne Frank that was multiculturally cast, as it were, you know, and I think that's the far end of people are going to question your existence in it. That's maybe the most extreme, but there's always that question. And some actors just ask you outright. Like I've seen white actors just be like, but why is the lead Black? And it's just like, wow. But to enter a space that's thickly in a period where people don't consider that your purview or wouldn't see you automatically in that play unless it was strictly about the enslavement. It's just like, no, we're here. We get to play in this world and we get to be richly complicated. You know, that's the other thing about any narrative that deals with enslavement is that the hierarchy is thick in the circumstance.
Absolutely. It makes me think of Bridgerton. And where I think Philip's work is different than Bridgerton is that in Bridgerton, you see in this and well done colorblind world, right? But Philip allows the characters to be conscious of their culture. And I'm not saying their race. I'm not saying their skin. Right. I think that's what's really interesting about what's not coming out of their mouths. Because I think that's the circle of whiteness on them. And he was like, no, remove that from the world. But they are very aware of their culture. They're aware of their histories. They're aware of past generations and generationally what they're receiving and giving to each other.
And removing that whiteness from the world also just allows you to focus intensely on the relationship and the hierarchy in those relationships and how each individual character is bucking that hierarchy and the consequences therein. There is some allusion to those consequences being related to the outer world and the macrocosm of the society as it's structured at the time, but it's mostly rooted in these three women really challenging each other's beliefs and each other's status in the world.
You're so right about that. It's what I find really intriguing is that class is still there. And that's been the visible killer of America, right? We don't want to talk about class, but even in this world, that is their own. They have a system of class, a system of hierarchy. And I remember the character you play is bucking. Your character is over it, is ready to be the supreme. Who do I need to take down?
Well, just the youth of secretary, I don't need to listen to these old timers. Like, I'm so much bigger than this. I'm so much more mature than this. And the folly of that we have all fallen prey to. And being bigger than your britches.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing it now. I mean, and sometimes oh God, we know the youth should be heard. Hey, America, right? What we just saw, and how many years we have to go to if you just listen to some folks,
right?
But, yeah, but it's also, I also think it's the way we listen to our elders in this piece, and I think that's, I think that's him learning from his predecessors like Lorraine and Wilson, Douglas Turner Ward, so many others who really instilled in us culturally that we care about our elders. They have a message. They have, I don't want to say just a wisdom they need to pass down to us. They have a lived experience that is valuable to our survival of
roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's I think that that's really key to understanding something that Lovecraft Country and Phillip sort of navigate really beautifully is like, it's not this like vague sense of wisdom of like platitudes and guiding ideas, you know, but the actual roadmap, an actual green book, an actual how to not die, how to thrive, how to survive that the elders passed down to us.
Mm-hmm.
And the necessity of that in the circumstances, right, is you know, that I think some cultures can get divorced from that need for the elders to teach you how to really protect your skin. But pro and con of that, the pro and con of like not being able to divorce from that, of course, but the big pro of it, keeping generational relationships in a place of importance.
Agreed. And then I would say like the fourth character of this piece. And if anyone knows the rules of the Parsnip Ship, I wasn't supposed to have another character or another actor jump in, but the music of the world is definitely a character itself. And thank you, Maya, who
wrecked
came in the
us.
room and
Just
like
wrecked us.
blew up the story with this sound. And I don't know. I will say I think that's been my survival of this pandemic. Has been a soundscape, has been music, has been I don't know about you, but I've been listening to stuff that I haven't listened to since elementary school, or I mean, I went through my entire high school mixtapes.
It's so funny that you said that. This happened to me like early on. I heard an old song that I was like, you know, high school and college was my actual iPod, which I don't use anymore. So and somehow like my playlists, I never remade them on Spotify. So like my Spotify existence is solely tied to my adulthood. So I don't like have these adolescent songs on there. I don't know why. Most of them, some of them I do. Like Corinne Bailey Rae is my queen, and she is on every platform I listen to.
We saw her live.
Oh my God.
We did. She was everything.
But listening, but I remember I was like, it was like someone punched me in the heart. I was like, oh my God, that song. And then I went full into like, why haven't I listened to this album in like years? What's wrong with me? Just going right back into it. But that history, I think that really ties to Phillip's play too, the sense of who you are and that history and music. Because you wouldn't expect Maya's music in this play because it is so contemporary. Mm-hmm. Although Phillip's very contemporary in his style as well.
He is. He would throw a meme joke in real fast just to see if you're awake, just to see if your ears on. Did you hear it?
You paying attention?
But yeah, there's a forwarding action, and I mean, like we're people who are deeply musical, right? People who God. Our sounds, our mouths are in rhythm at all points in time. But I think what Phillip captures and what I tried to bring to light is that there's a forwarding of the action with rhythm. And when you listen to this piece tonight, or hopefully you have already listened to it before because it's been out for a little bit.
So you're revisiting it with new ears.
Yeah, for sure. I think really lean into the musicality of the language and move into the invisible character that is the oral space, the oral space. And I think that's the ancestors. Those are the ancestors. That's the tradition and the generations that are always with us. And we try to capture that in this soundscape, this sound play. And I hope that as you're listening to it, you feel not alone, but that they're here with you. And I think togetherness,
encompassed.
And I think togetherness is the thing that we need right now, right? It's so easy right now to feel alone. I don't know about you, but I think in this moment right now, being separated from loved ones and not being able to hug friends. Even your coworkers that you like or dislike, to say hi in front of their face, right? Togetherness is a theme of the moment and a need of the moment. So yeah, just lean into it. And this play will give it to you.
Yeah. And just to close, a thing that is happening now that I think also happens in the play is that as much as we need togetherness, the stress of the situation is creating this defensiveness, this like this need to kind of like push out. And I think that's what's so interesting about the moment we're in, right? It's like that's the lesson we have to keep learning. As much as we want to like isolate and push everything away, the only thing that's going to get us through is coming into each other.
Absolutely. I'm going to say thank you again for the Parsnip Ship for this time.
Thank
and speaking about
you.
this piece. And everybody, get snuggle up, turn the speakers on high, and just enjoy the ride of a holy her.
Get a drink.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wine. Something.
Pro drink.
Do that for you. Do that for yourself. Even if it's a non-alcoholic drink, just get in there.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live radio play broadcast of The Parsnip Ship Presents A Holy Her by Phillip Gregory Burke, directed by Nilan, with music by Maya Sharpe. This episode was recorded live in Brooklyn, New York in May 2019 and is produced by The Parsnip Ship and Business Lunch Productions. To listen to more episodes of The Parsnip Ship and to support our mission of amplifying bold artists for audiences who crave accessible stories and storytellers, please visit our website at theparsnipship.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at The Parsnip Ship NY to stay up to date on all things Parsnip, including upcoming broadcasts, happy hours, play club, and more. New plays, new music. This is how we hear theater. Without further ado, A Holy Her. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Parsnip Ship. My name is Yvonne E. Devery, and tonight we are having our reading at the Mark O'Donnell Theater in the Actors Fund Arts Center in downtown Brooklyn. Thank you again for hosting us tonight. Tonight, we are hearing A Holy Her by Phillip Gregory Burke, directed by Nilan, with musical guest Maya Sharpe. This is our fourth season, actually, of our regular play reading and music series, and it's our most exciting one yet because it features solely playwrights of color and their dynamic and inventive stories, which will be brought to a wide audience of theater, music, and podcast folks like yourselves here. Before we get into our first song, I'd like to ask our playwright, what would the world be missing if it didn't have this play?
The world would be missing if they did not have this play. They wouldn't have an idea of what Black women were doing during the Revolutionary War, and they would be missing a world where Christianity is not the center of Blackness.
Woo.
Y'all can clap for that. I mean, it's why this is why I chose the script to feature this season. So let's get into our episode with music by Maya Sharpe.
When I was a little girl, heavenly stars would rule my world. My soul talked to me at night. Ancestors showed me light. They said, girl, run, run. Weeping willows watching, furry foxes howling, there's the moon. Silver branches covered me, keeping watch, my soul ran free. She is it and they are we. Under this canopy now I see. They say, girl, run, run. Girl, run, run through the tall grass. Weeping willows watching. Furry foxes howling. There's the moon. They told me save yourself and dance like fire. Save yourself, be what you desire. Oh, 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 baby. Big Bible day, Bob day, Bob day, day, Bob day, bye. Big Bob day, Bob day, day, Bob day, bye. The day, battle day, battle day, battle day, Bob day, day, battle day, battle day, Bob day, Bob day, day, Bob day, little Bob day, Bob day, Bob. Bye bye. Bye bye.
I'm Cherrye J. Davis. I'll be playing Elder, a Black woman, 50s, early 60s.
Alisha Espinosa, playing Secretary, Black and Indigenous woman, 20.
I'm Daralyn J., and I'll be playing Associate, Black woman, early to late 30s.
I'm Jasmine Saunise, and I'll be reading stage directions. A Holy Her by Phillip Gregory Burke. Act 1. Time, August 4th, 1776. Setting, a room ruined by the revolutionary roads raging outside. Place, the new kids on the block label it the new American world. The old school swears it still is the new world. The African diaspora asserts that no matter what it's called, this is not of our world. Act 1. At Rise, a dark and near empty room, accompanied by a sad-looking fire brewing on its last legs. There are 3 small, unorganized backpacks laying around. Elder sits in a chair with a brush and oil can. Secretary sits between Elder's legs and unwraps her elegant tignon. Elder, assuming the mantle of hairdresser, begins to oil Secretary's scalp.
All this hair.
Why, thank you.
I wasn't.
It's Narragansett.
It's Narragansett. You always so swift to tell me that, Secretary.
It is Elder. Real Narragansett Indian hair. My daddy, everybody know him. The legendary Crispus Attucks was colored and Narragansett. And all that good hair took over on his scalp, took over on mine, as you can see. He got it from his mother. She was full-blooded Narragansett woman.
Secretary, what I'm oiling through ain't no Narragansett nothing. It's pure knickknacks.
It is not.
I'm oiling what I'm oiling, and I done felt what I felt. Pure knickknacks.
You just feeling them naps because you just feeling the small parts I got from my mama.
My child, you are not the sum length of your hair. You know that, right?
A round of cannon shots fired in the distance catch Secretary off guard.
You steady your hand and be ready to shoot if necessary. If you see something.
Shoot something. Stockholder Jude sure is a handsome fellow, ain't he?
He's a pretty boy who knows he's pretty. Colored Helena Troy looking ass. You and Jude don't treat each other with that unholiness, do you?
No, I am not associate, Elder.
Don't sweep associate into something I'm asking you.
No. Jude and I were never... Well, a lady never says those things out loud.
When we treat one another with unholiness of any kind, she weeps.
You don't have to worry about Jude and me. Jude treats me with respect. Oh, I can just imagine us jumping the broom. I pray he asks. Needs to ask.
Don't be sugar all over any man's cane. No man is worthy of that.
You ever jumped the broom?
I never jumped over a broom. But I sure enough galloped over many brooms like a pony youngling to a carrot. 5 times. Around my parts, I was called the broom jumper.
Why'd you jump so many times?
Because I was a knockout.
You were a hit with the colored men.
Oh, some Indians even asked me to marry them too.
You can't just say Indians, Elder. What tribe wanted to jump the broom with you? Call us by our tribes.
Well, there was that Mohegan man, that Wampanoag man. Ooh, can't forget about the proposal I got from that Narragansett man.
Narragansett, praise the holy her.
We even got one from an indentured servant, too. Told me that instead of a broom, we can jump over a bag of potatoes. I told him to get out of here with that nonsense and read that Gaelic blessing on to another.
Could have married you, a Mohegan, Wampanoag, Narragansett, and an Irishman.
Now, I never said I have those men. But all that was when I was an unholy her, before she saved me. I'm holy now.
You know, Jude's daddy, Dr. Station Master Jones, is uncoupled.
What that got to do with me?
You uncoupled too.
Who says I want to be coupled?
Your record.
You keep being fresh, girl.
I think you got one more broom jump in you. Look at all them suitors you had to fight off with a broom jumper.
Suitors wasn't the only ones I had to fight off with a broom. Sometimes what I really needed was a sword. Now go look in that window and see the mother's beauty in you.
Why, Elder, you done made me a braided beauty. Thank you.
Not bad for my first time braiding true Narragansett hair.
It is Narragansett.
You still needed all this here oil to brush through your knickknacks.
Well, I ain't had no time to think about my hair when all we've been doing is saving dynasties.
Ain't no amount of excuses gonna cover up them knickknacks.
And ain't no amount of oil gonna cover up yours.
Where's my switch?
Elder chases secretary. Secretary becomes dizzy.
Secretary? Them braids not too tight, are they?
No. They feel just fine. Just let me sit for a moment.
I'll get you some drink from that well.
Elder, don't go out there. They sounded closer.
This ain't my first war. I am not afraid. Steady your hand and that mind to shoot if needed.
Haven't I done it before?
Elder exits. Secretary fixates on her gun. Elder re-enters.
Now, if I need to loosen them braids.
Secretary draws her gun on Elder.
Oh, sweet mother, it's me. Yo, Elder.
Elder? I thought you were a loyalist.
Secretary, if you don't get that gun out my face.
I'm sorry, I was just reminded.
Elder pours water into the cup and hands it to Secretary. Secretary spills the drink.
I should have been more mindful.
Oh, just Breathe, Secretary. It's all right, child.
Secretary and elder breathe together. Cannon sounds disrupt the flow of their breathing. Elder dips the cup into the bucket again and holds it for Secretary as she drinks.
Them cannons out there ain't for us. It's all a show, and we in the audience waiting for the curtain to drop. And they out there trying to be revolutionary, fighting amongst themselves for themselves, because they being taxed too much, because they ain't represented. Well, we ain't never been represented, and our bodies always been taxed. Who out there trying to represent us but us? Neither party trying to do that, but remember, come king or this former colony they now call in America, our people still stand, Secretary.
But they control the land. They control the sea.
But she's the only one that controls our eyes to see. Pack up that area around there and keep on breathing.
Elder busies herself rationing quail. Secretary does as commanded.
Here, come smell this. My quail smell good, don't it? I know them family of rabbits who I've been plucking on the regular saw me scalping them quail today and was screaming to their maker, "Thank you for sparing us tonight."
I was going to scream if I saw one more bowl of that rabbit stew.
I don't know why you say you'd scream about my rabbit stew when you haven't touched any of it since we came back delivering Dynasty 25. I think you're doing it because you've been putting some weight on you. Oh, pick up your jaw off the floor, child. I seen what I seen, and I seen that you got some weight on you. Ain't no shame in that. You're still slender. You're just a slender plus now. Oh, you used to take 2-3 servings of my rabbit stew. But now you just let them juniper berries suit you.
And them juniper berries been suiting me just fine, Miss
Secretary. We never state our mother names, and we most certainly do not state those colony names once thrown at us. We never go by any names because it's never about us. It's always about her and the titles we've been assigned according to her.
But how come we say Dr. Jones and Jude's name along with their titles? Is it because they're men?
No. They just in another branch, and that branch got their rules. Field surveyor in our branch, a man, and he just go by his title too. He's the first man in that position, actually.
A man celebrating a first.
We didn't say anything to him about it because, well, you know, his head clouds with vanity.
Oh my God, yes. Now, even though I enjoy stockholder Jude's company, you give that man an inch of a compliment, he'd go ahead and make a mile of it. Jesus Christ.
Excuse me.
You know that be true of stockholder Jude?
I ain't talking about no Jude. What you say about Jesus and God?
Elder, I'm so sorry. I just meant it as an expression. They use it all the time.
See, that's your first problem. Who you around all the time. All this bad talk.
I can't control what words I hear them say.
But you can control what come out of your mouth. You and this they girl made you forget about we. We do not believe in their God. We do not believe in Jesus Christ.
We believe in the she, the holy her.
The only her.
I won't ever again call upon the name of Jesus like that again.
She ain't descend down from the golden comet on her winged Pegasus, take earthly form with the 20 and odd that was stolen from the motherland and put on the White Lion slave ship, endure the first ever middle passage to Point Comfort, Virginia, to ever be blasphemed like that. She came to
seek and save the slave to land of freedom through the mighty power of she by we the tested brave.
Yes. We save colored families and call them dynasties. And we vowed that any dynasty who wants hand deliverance to come on through and walk that line with us to the promised ever since that day the ancestors came here on August 20th, 1619. Expression or not, this better be the last I hear of that bad talk. You started off as pupil, then squire, then assistant, and just got promoted to secretary. You fast on the rise here. Don't make your decline fast, too.
Affirmative, Elder.
They resumed their activities.
I visited Daddy's home today.
You did you? How was it?
You know, Daddy never could keep a clean home. I have to do so much cleaning every 5th of the month I go visit him. More and more dandelions been dancing as dust on his muddy blanket, so I gotta clean the blanket. Daddy's diet has become so unhealthy. A clue of worms serves as his breakfast, maggots his lunch, and a colony of ants his supper. Rinse, wash, repeat. How he is supposed to do this for an eternity is beyond me.
Yet he stands erect in his new home, no matter how much all of Earth's elements of tax collectors stay knocking on his door. You Crispus Attucks living history, and your line throughout history won't ever forget his name. Put this in Associate's bag.
Why am I doing associate's work?
You must be confused with your new secretary title. You don't do associate's work. You just record the chattel names after associate recruits them. We honor life of all the past names, and I retrieve the names of that night, leading us to the promised.
It was me who completed the recruiting for tonight's Dynasty 26.
You saying associate ain't do her recruiting?
I read some of Associate's notes as I was doing some recording, and I stopped by their home after visiting Daddy. And I'm glad I did, because they told me Associate never followed up in her recruiting to prepare them for tonight, Elder.
I can't believe this. Associate is completely out of order.
But I prepped them for the journey. Told them how we travel light, told them not to draw attention to themselves as they walk the roads.
You stop showcasing that vanity of yours.
I'm showcasing the truth, and the truth is Associate didn't do the work.
No. The truth is, you don't recruit. You aren't trained to recruit. You too were out of order, Secretary.
Everything is set. All we need to do now is record the names and go.
Without associate? You never abandon a sister in the journey. Never.
The child Issachar was screaming as his mother cleansed a mountain of whip marks on his back. He is 9 years old, Elder. Their overseer is planning on breeding his sister Ida. She's 7 years old.
Your penmanship still got that chicken scratch.
Handwriting still looks like a child had a go at it, but stockholder Jude says I got a nice signature.
Well, put ink to that feather and do your recording of the names.
And then we leave.
When you walk that line in each of the 13 colonies to the promised, from the bottomless heat of the lower Louisiana and what was then New France to the promised, walked as far west to where the muddy waters of the Missouri River began merely as a singular tear of the comfortless Cheyenne mother, then zigzagged to Spanish Florida, where you drank the strength from the fountains of youth and delivered 1,772 colored people in total, representing 25 dynasties of families to the promise, as I have. Then you too, Secretary, can give the final command. And until then, write.
Affirmative, Elder.
Secretary writes, a round of cannon shots are heard louder than before.
Wait until you view my penmanship, Elder. Miss Rebecca said I'm at the top of her class.
Oh, dear mother, not that woman.
Miss Rebecca's one of us.
How is Becky one of us?
Miss Rebecca's a Quaker.
And?
Them Quakers do their own thing. We do ours. We are separate, but our goal is equal.
Don't be quick to trust any of those Quakers.
Well, Quakers' versions are the nicest to the colored cause.
So nice of that Becky being a teacher to you, a colored woman, while she out there owning humans. Tell me, while you being schooled, who brings you the lemonade? Doing the cooking? Who upstairs having forced relations with her loyalist husband, Connor Charles?
Not all Quakers are there yet when it comes to coloreds being free. But their abolition movement is growing as a whole.
Shouldn't have to wait for a movement to do the right thing as a people.
But a movement it takes.
The names?
Secretary hands her the book. Elder reads.
Everything's right. I swear to...
They better know how to act and station Master Dr. Jonas's home like they got good ancestral training. The chattel are guests. This is a deliverance, not a holiday. I believe you. I'm just sad our number's been so low lately.
Because our people been worshiping false idols preached from pastor's pulpit and forget the ways of the holy her. There are fewer generation keepers to remind them not to lose their grips upon mother's gates. They think we tell tall tales about what she does for the culture, stuck on those beyond and not on the living, but we remember all the names when our elders die out, when our children are sold about, when the overseer's promise goes roundabout. We keep alive our old while nursing our new. Elder, if non-believers could see what we see when we are in the promise, they'd see it's more than a land of milk and honey. It is the only land of breath and life. They'd see how the promised is independent of these declarations patriots claim will make this new country, America, greater than Great Britain. They'd see how the only truths we hold to be self-evident are those aligned with the holy her.
I see you were worthy of that promotion, Secretary.
Associate burst into the space.
Well, ain't nobody told me pupil could preach. Jupiter Harmon better dry his ink and publish his sample poems. Benjamin Banneker better school a sister through his almanacs, 'cause Squire coming for you all as colored of the year. Ain't she, Elder? Well, don't stop preaching on my account, assistant. Praise the holy her, 'cause you preaching real good.
For the last time, I'm secretary now.
Associate, coming in here out of order, forgetting your protocol.
Forgive me, Elder. I say, Elder. I say, Secretary.
Associate attempts to salute, but collapses. Secretary catches her. Blood drips from Associate's clothes. Cannonball sounds resume.
She's bleeding.
Sit her down.
I was shot on this side of my chest.
How many bullets they shot in you?
Just one.
Oh, that's one bullet too many.
Loyalist or patriot work?
Don't matter. Both parties are the same.
Associate jerks violently in pain.
Is she dying?
If we don't try and remove this here bullet.
What's this wee business?
You done this before, Elder?
Well, during the 7 Years' War, I nursed plenty.
You removed their bullets too?
I am a quick study.
A quick study?
Secretary runs over to the corner and vomits.
Holy Mother, help me.
All that blood.
Don't focus on the blood.
It's happening again.
Focus on me.
That bullet is so close to her chest, like his chest.
Just try to calm down.
There he is, right there. William Warren, that loyalist, is the one who pumped 2 bullets to my daddy's chest. You have to get the bullets out.
You must gather yourself, my child. This is associate. We are talking about.
Associate. Is associate going to die, Elder?
I never lost nobody on my watch. Take your knife, not your gun, and run onto that well and get me some water. Hurry!
Secretary takes the knife and exits carrying the bucket. Elder prepares the space and cleans Associate's wound.
You didn't do your recruiting.
I'm laying here with a bullet in me, and you telling me about how I didn't do my job? You haven't even asked how it happened to me, but go ahead. Chastise me. I'm dying tonight.
I don't want to hear no bad talk. Bad talk only add to more trouble.
Trouble is already here, Elder. Trouble is a bullet in me.
Careful about letting that unholy her get to you.
They did more than shoot me, you know. They...
Associate struggles with her emotion as Elder struggles how to respond. Secretary re-enters.
Made it back.
See? You did it. Now we gotta do with what we have and get rid of this bullet here. All right, go on, pour her some water, wet the rag, and then hold on to Associate.
Elder unsheathes her knife.
No!
All right, my child. Do not be afraid. My grandfather Thebes said this knife of the Sahel come with some healing power. Her power. Now, Secretary's just gonna hold you down while I do some gentle inspecting here.
It already hurts so much.
Secretary, speak some softness to help put some sweetness in the air. And you, associate, try to put some sweetness in your mind.
To Secretary.
I need, hand me that clean rag.
To Associate.
I need you to put this in your mouth now. And when you feel like screaming, just bite down hard on this and put it all in that rag. You hear?
Associate puts the rag in her mouth. Secretary grabs a tighter hold of Associate. Elder begins to operate. Associate corresponds with muted screams and moves with varying degrees of pain. Secretary recites a poem.
O thou bright jewel in my aim, I strive to comprehend thee. Thine own words declare wisdom is higher than a fool can reach. I cease to wonder, and no more attempt thine height to explore or fathom thy profound. But, O my soul, sink not into despair. Virtue is near thee, and with gentle hand would now embrace thee, hovers o'er thine head. Fain would the heaven-born soul with her converse, then seek, then court her for promised bliss. Auspicious Queen, thine heavenly pinions spread and lead celestial chastity along. Lo, and now her sacred retinue descends, arrayed in glory from the orbs above. Attend me, virtue, through my youthful years. O leave me not to the false joys of time, but guide my steps to endless life and bliss, greatness or goodness, say what I shall call thee. To give me a higher appellation still, teach me a better strain, a nobler lay, O thou enthroned with cherubs in the realms of day. That was On Virtue by Phyllis Wheatley.
Elder removes the bullet.
Oh, praise the holy her. It's out.
Praise her from all blessings flow.
Oh, we're not out of danger yet. Wet that other rag and clean around Associate's wound. Put the remedy on it good, too. And then I'll bandage you up best I can, my sweet.
I can do both. You have a moment rest, Elder. You deserve it.
You deserve it, colored bitch. That's what they said. The patriot at the front, the loyalist the back. Managed to get them both off and stabbed the patriot 76 times. Loyalist, the one who shot me, saw his adversary turned friend was dead and begged me for mercy. I seeded mulatto children. My wife Becky is for the colored cause. The colored woman's milk was the only milk I knew as a babe. What were those colored women's names? He claimed he ain't remember. Sold the first one off. The other one, I ain't know either. I just fuck her. She like it. Him not knowing those nameless colored women hurt more than their acts on me. Their race demands we aid them with life, and they don't got the decency to call us by our names or remember our names. So I shot him in the chest, then shot him in his part, so no more mulatto children spring from his seed. Think I did hear him squeak out a name. Kizzy. I'm going to honor that Ms. Kizzy, whoever, wherever she is, when we honor life tonight. That Miss Kizzy deserves it.
Elder rises and lifts her hands. Secretary stops bandaging. Elder initiates the praise and worship of the holy her.
Tanikia, Tanit Sarki, Tanida Tsarkita.
Tanikia, Tanita Sarki, Tanida Tsarkita, Tanikiata, Tanikiata, Tanikiata.
Associate's body is linked with her spirit.
Your ears are speaking, it cannot be. But do not fear. I bring you good tidings, my holy hair appointees. For there is a place out there I've prepared for thee that one cannot read in Roman mythology, where every day is a golden cherry jubilee. Just go east to the divide of them freshwater seas. Far beyond the reach of any king's Judas tree reigns my supreme divinity, represented on earth by the mother Methuselah tree. I sense your minds are flooded with thoughts of holy her. Why me? What thou thought was lost, thine eyes will read her now and see.
Her spirit gently departs from Associate's body.
Oh my.
What in heaven?
She was here. She is here.
The following actions happen simultaneously. Secretary chants, Tani Yakata. Elder speaks in tongues. Associate remains transfixed.
This is our holy decree. I was because someone would.
I do because someone else done.
I will because someone willed me to be. I am what she says that I am. I say.
They gesture the sign of her cross. They all breathe, then exhale in unison.
Now, while she did a mighty work to our spirits just now, we still got work to do on behalf of her. So I am making some amendments to our Constitution for our journey tonight. Associate, you proved you need assisting in your duties. You will be training Secretary on those duties.
You serious, Elder?
As tuberculosis.
Oh my God. I mean, thank you, Elder.
If Secretary ain't step up to the mantle of her with her gun work when Dynasty 25 fell apart, we would have been gone with that wind. Now, Secretary's mind suffered a lot for that, as we all know, but credit is given where credit is. And I'm just going to hush my mouth filled with praise right now because Secretary's over there glowing with vanity.
Brighter than the drinking gourd.
Oh, hush up, hold up.
However, Secretary, you too proved you need monitoring in your duties, and so you will turn in your weapons.
But Elder, I have the right to bear arms.
Not when your mind ain't got the right to bear any clarity. You were running around the room asking people who aren't here to help your father. You said that William
Don't say that murderer's name.
Secretary, surprised by the outburst, composes herself.
I meant no disrespect. I've been working so hard on it by praying and praying and praying.
And she been doing a mighty good work in you. But I am not she. And I won't risk no earthly triggers. Your weapons.
Secretary turns in her weapons to Elder.
All your weapons. Associate, service backup.
Secretary turns in the weapons from the bag. Associate checks Secretary's bag.
Affirmative, Elder.
I will regulate how much you will use these while walking in line. You hear?
Affirmative, Elder.
Elder redistributes the guns between her bag and Associates and secures the remainder in storage.
The journey tonight will be a smooth one. She willing. Dynasty 26 only got 4 pieces of chattel to walk the line to the promised with. Oh, I remember when. What? All right, well, go on, spill the pollen. Don't go mute on me now, worker bees.
It's been advised in our monthly minutes for us to not refer to dynasties as chattel anymore.
Well, what are the chattel to be called then?
Cargo. Chattel was such a painful reminder of their old slave selves, Didn't make sense to them how, as they walked the line, they were being called a word with so much meaning to the white man when they were on the way of being free of such labels.
Us calling them chattel has always been different from how a white person uses that word. They use that word thinking we animals they can abuse and control. We've been using it as an encouraging word for the herd to realize they got strength in the numbers they walk in the line to the promised with.
Oh, I hear you, Elder. The newer dynasties hear it too and think chattel is just bad talk.
Sort of how I told you how you have to call my people by their tribe names and not by what others say their names should be. See it as just letting cargo have a choice.
In my day, we would take the white words of wither and make them same words unique to our own tongues. We found our redefinitions empowering for us because it was remade by us.
In this day, dynasties find the creation of their own words they've defined as unique, empowering.
The newer dynasties just trying to tell us, Elder, that they want to originate and not regurgitate.
So I see. But I suppose none of it don't matter. It's my last journey anyway.
This is your last what?
Oh, damn.
Well, she was going to find out eventually.
Well, she was supposed to find out in the promised.
She, meaning me and not she, is right here. You knew about this associate? Oh, of course you knew.
Of course I knew. There's a chain of command, Secretary, and I am your superior.
Part-time superior.
After tonight's dynasty, yes, I'm staying on in the promised. Gonna retire.
Was it something I did?
You ever think it's not all about you?
I'm going to be with my child.
Your child? I thought she was...
She is. The Scarlet took my first. Word reached to me that my second made it to the promised and been asking about me. Her name's Nzinga, and they say she with a child about to start a new line of her own. It's time for me to go be with my family, the old and the new.
Blessed are you, elder, amongst colored women. That is a testimony plenty of them cannot testify to. My mama certainly couldn't. I understand, but I'm going to miss you.
Well, I ain't gone yet.
Secretary surprises Elder with a hug. Elder gradually softens into the hug. Elder's stomach growls.
You heard that?
I felt that right here. You sure you ain't the one with child, Elder?
Oh, Secretary, I ain't studying you none. What I look like carrying a child and not married in my position? I'm not some unholy her.
Associate searches through the bags.
That quail is for the journey, but I got some cold rabbit stew. Your favorite, Secretary. For us to chew on now. We all gonna need some strength.
Thank you, but I'm not hungry, Elder.
Well, you got to eat something more outside than juniper berries, especially with you vomiting and getting dizzy.
Let her stomach be. That means more for you and me.
I would, but, well, Stockholder Jude said...
Oh, I knew that man had something to do with you not eating.
Oh, Stockholder Jude still sweet on your sour?
And why wouldn't he be?
Stockholder Jude just seemed like a busy bee, sweet on many queen bees.
I am the only honey for Jude's devoted worker bee.
You mean you the moth, Secretary, and Jude ain't nothing but a burning flame.
Sleep with both your eyes open to the promise tonight, Associate, and you too, Elder.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my britches.
Anyways, Jude suggested that maybe I should just eat some more berries and olives into my supper and see what it can do for me.
And what is it supposed to do for you?
It's supposed to maintain my figure.
Your figure?
Yes, my figure.
So maintaining your figure means no meat?
Yes. He thinks eating meat is unclean.
My rabbit stew then is unclean.
By his thinking, your quail unclean then too.
Never! My quail! That boy done lost his mind.
He just thinks that when eating an animal, it seeps into your body and starts doing funny things to your spirit because you're taking on that animal's spirit, mood, and mind.
Hold your horses. You say what he says about this, but what you say about this?
I think he has a point.
Believing in animal spirits sacred in your culture as part Narragansett, from what you always schooling us. So you gonna go against your Narragansett culture, a culture you more proud of than the high Yoruba in you, which is another problem for another time. Because some mulatto man told you eating an animal can make your body do funny things.
First of all, stockholder Jude's a quadroon.
Oh, how you so swift to make him less colored.
'Cause that's what he is. Jude's not a mulatto. He's a quadroon. His mother was a whole white woman, a whole one. Jude's daddy is a mulatto. That makes Jude only a quarter colored, a quadroon, not a half.
And that's what drew you to him, ain't it?
They say we 3/5, 1/8, a quarter, a half, but I say we always been whole. Always will be whole. We just don't always act like we whole because we ain't told our minds that we are whole. But that mindset ain't just Secretary's generation. I knew a man like that who ain't never felt whole.
But did this man make you feel whole?
Whole enough to jump the broom with him.
Your fishes are swimming all up my canal and don't even know the direction of the stream.
Well, school us fish so we don't have to swim our way through your streams.
I think he was husband number 3. 3rd time's a charm.
The way Elder lit up when she said, I knew a quadroon man, seemed like he was her first love she never could shake off. You never forget your first. I should know.
You both wrong. Charleston was my second.
Sweep on through, broom jumper.
Charleston's the name. As my granddaddy would have said, that's a strong name.
But Charleston wasn't so strong or whole in his mind. But being that bright of a light was like wearing a crown of thorns for him. He wanted more than anything to have skin like all of ours combined.
Well, why would he ever want that? If he was so light and bright, Mr. Charleston could have just passed.
You mean you would have passed if you could?
No. I wouldn't have passed.
Charleston wanted the charcoal skin of midnight inside his soul so bad. He swallowed fiery charcoals, killing himself. That was the only way he felt whole.
You must have been devastated, Elder.
That poor man indeed. Was Mr. Charleston your Nzinga's father?
Elder feigns a sweet smile that quickly turns sour as water wells her eyes.
I think I'm going to start that rabbit stew from scratch and serve you the finest known in these parts. Oh, and while you both debating the percentages of those of us in the culture, recite and record what you both remember from her vision. I say,
Elder.
They salute each other. Elder exits.
Was it something I said?
You know how Elder act when about things she considered bad talk? At least Elder told you she was leaving. I just found out everything in the promise.
I swear, Elder's so selective with what she decides to get upset with us about.
True. But all of that just reminds me that Elder a human and not the holy her. You remember how her vision started?
Of course I do. I used to be secretary too before my elevation. Your ears are speaking. No, they weren't speaking. Your ears are shifting that this could possibly not be. Wait, no. What's with my memory?
She said, your ears are speaking that it cannot be. But do not fear. I bring you good tidings, my holy her appointees. We should just go off my memory. I do record for a living.
Well, call me the Library of Alexandria because I've been read.
Secretary writes. Associate studies her.
You recite that Phyllis Wheatley very well.
I do, don't I? Been an admirer of her work since that first poem of hers, On the Affray in King Street. She wrote about my daddy in that one. recited it at his funeral to thousands of mourners.
I remember the incident on King Street very well.
Wasn't no incident like the British loyalists say. And it wasn't no massacre like them American patriots say.
What say you?
The worst day of my life. I still find trouble trying to describe what I saw that day. But Phyllis managed to say it better than I could.
Secretary recites from memory.
Lost to their view. Surviving friends may mourn, yet on thy pile shall flames celestial burn. Long as in freedom's cause the wise contend, dear to you unity shall fame extend. While to the world the lettered stone shall tell how Caldwell, Attucks, Gray, and Maverick fell.
You don't think her work is a bit
anointed,
colonized? She sound like that Shakespeare they reading now.
Just because one of her influences is a white man?
A dead white man.
An influence, nonetheless. He's been dead for more than 100 years. And when Phyllis dies, her work will too live on. She's in a class all by herself.
I'm concerned about her lectures she teaching in that class all by herself. Some of our skin folk can be just a bunch of sinful folk. Gotta be careful who you let wet the sponges of your mind, Secretary. Not every sponge you wet is gonna clean your stink. Some sponge is gonna add to your stink.
Associate, what language are you speaking now?
The language forced upon my ancestors that they made their own.
Some would argue you sound colonized, wouldn't they? Couldn't they?
I'm sure they could, but
I rest my case. Phyllis does plenty of good, inspiring many of us in the culture.
Associate gets a book from her bag.
Your white teacher read you Phyllis's On Being Brought from Africa to America poem in class.
We haven't read every poem yet.
Well, open ye doors, O Library of Alexandria. Class is now in session.
Associate reads from her book.
'Twas mercy brought me from my pagan land, taught my benighted soul to understand that there's a God, that there's a Savior too. Once I redemption neither sought nor knew. Some view our sable race with scornful eye. Their color is a diabolic dye. Remember, Christians, Negroes black as Cain may be refined and join the angelic train.
But, so, hold your horses. Phyllis Wheatley isn't for the culture?
Phyllis Wheatley hates the color of her own culture.
But she's taught in schools, colored and white.
Because look what they teaching. The hatred of her own people. That's what gets her the elevation. That's why they putting her in the minds of everyone here. Her voice fit their agenda, fits the Christian agenda too, because they believe this Cain was cursed by his own God after he murdered his blood brother, spending his life walking around with a cursed mark on his head, which let people know not to touch him, for he is a plague. So when Phyllis puts the color black in front of the word Cain, she's saying being black is a curse. At every line we walk, we letting white people know how our skin is a cursed mark and a plague. To Phyllis, being black is something faulty. When you dye something to another color, it becomes not real. Phyllis is saying, we are not real. Our culture is not real. Our blackness is not real. And the only thing that can be real about Negroes, black as Cain, is how diabolical we are. A sister synonym word coded for devil.
Let me see that.
Secretary grabs the book from Associate and skims.
Go ahead. The words are there. Phyllis's words, out in the public's domain.
Negro black as Cain.
Phyllis done wrote to us how she ain't shit right in here. Phyllis's work is for them. Phyllis declares she is for them. So Phyllis ain't for the culture and definitely ain't for me. The doors of the Library of Alexandria are now closed. Class dismissed. I say.
If the Wheatleys are sponsoring, and this is the only life she's ever known, she ain't gonna write about the culture or bite the hand that teaches her.
Do you think you're for the culture?
Oh, you think that just because I have generous sponsors, generous white sponsors like Phyllis do, that I can't possibly be for the culture? That I'm not colored enough for you, not colored enough for our cause like you say Phyllis is?
Believe it or not, I am fond of you most times, and that's why I must let you know how I fear for your mind. That same poison polluting Phyllis's pen is starting to pollute your mind.
You and Elder so concerned with my mind.
Elder concerned about the war demons in your mind. I'm concerned about the white demons in your mind. That money your sponsors fund you, they stole from colored cotton labor.
And it's being flooded back to me in the culture, for the culture, so we're all even.
They using you as an agenda to promote.
Maybe I got an agenda to promote. Maybe I'm using them, so who care about their reasoning when I got mine own? If forward-thinking whites want to give me money for services rendered to my ancestors and feel sorrow for me because of what happened to my daddy, who and what are you to stop me from securing my ancestral due? A crab in a barrel, that would be who.
You have a gift, and you trust them to mold it.
Right now, I trust them more than I trust you, because I can just be colored with whites. But with coloreds like you make me feel like I gotta run a race and wait for you to place me where you see I fit in amongst my own race.
Maybe some coloreds wouldn't feel that way if you weren't so open to the enemy.
You and Elder think they're all bad, but they're not. Some of them just want to help and can't help how they came into this world.
So the damn floods. Your mind is going Phyllis's way.
My mind go the way I want it to.
Would Mr. Attucks be proud of your Phyllis set mind?
How dare you blaspheme my daddy?
Legend by the lamppost is that Mr. Attucks and his 4 friends were the agitators who hit them loyalists first and not the other way around.
I know what I saw. My father, Crispus Attucks, is a legend, a martyr, an American.
An American? Oh, spare me these American declarations of dependence that you desperately want to be truths held self-evident in you. They never will be.
And history will never speak of your father the way they do mine. Your daddy's a rapist.
Associate draws her gun on Secretary. Secretary goes for her weapon. She remembers she's without a gun.
Say that shit again. I dare you.
Elder re-enters with 3 small bowls of rabbit stew.
Secretary, what are you shrieking? These lungs for... Associate!
Elder drops the bowls. Associate advances towards Secretary.
Put the gun
Don't shoot.
down.
I'm with child.
You're with what?
Please, don't shoot. Please, Associate. Think of my colored child for the culture.
For the fucking culture? You mean think of you for you? You think you the holy her, but ain't been nothing but the holy whore.
Stop this! That voice you hearing making you so lunatic is nothing but the unholy her, the unclean, the unkempt, the ungodly, the...
Associate shoots towards the ceiling.
Stop preaching to me. It's not about some unholy her you think is in my mind. Was there anything about this?
Pointing to her wound.
Or that?
Pointing to her head.
That was truly healed by the power of her word? Or did the holy her just show up, say some pretty poetry through me when Phyllis a few blocks away could have done that for a colony coin? Talk to me about me.
Sounds of war slowly crescendo.
Think that bullet reached out to heaven or found itself in the Big Dipper?
They say a lot of things on this earth travel out.
What say you?
I don't know.
I say a bullet can reach closer.
Associate draws the gun to her head.
They were gonna do like they did my mama. Like her mama before that. My buddy.
Like they did
Like Kizzy.
me. Like they did me. I understand the need to do away with yourself, child. I've been there. My mind's still there. But you took them out.
But dear shackles were loose, coming out the ship of the Issabur, flowing to the Ethiopian Ocean. Why didn't Madeir take herself out and jump?
But Madeir was thinking about her line. Just like I am. Madeir was thinking about how her dynasty would thrive in you, not end with you.
Associate then hands Elder the gun. Elder comforts Associate, who wails and wails and wails, as do the cannons outside, whom with accompanying war sounds reach their apex. This time, these are shouts of victory, as horns, a fife escorted by a military drum, and indistinguishable cheers from merry borderline arrogant men boom triumphantly in the distance.
I'm so sorry I failed you tonight. My child. I did not fathom all your pain. I checked your body for wounds, and I did not check your mind for wounds.
Raindrops of blood drip and then drop, painting the room ruby red.
She weeps. Oh, she weeps.
Secretary collapses.
Secretary!
Outside, the revolutionary cheers conquest closer and closer and even closer. The blood descends faster and faster and faster.
Oh, in the name of the Mother, forgive us, for we know not what we do.
Lights fade to black. End of Act 1.
Please, please forgive me for all that I have done. I won't take no for an answer. These hands I'm feeling like I've never felt before. Maybe they're waiting for some healing. Heart keeps on giving, but I can't remember my name. That's all you are killing today. I wish you were like yesterday. Today, I wish you were like yesterday. Today, I wish you were like yesterday. Oh, but moments too precious to keep around my bed. Waiting until the end of never. Look now, the sun is there and coming near. Heart keeps on giving, but I can't remember my name. This soul you are killing today. I wish you were like yesterday. Today, I wish you were like yesterday. Today, I wish you were like yesterday. Oh, but I help up there today. Life keeps on rolling, but there's no love. There is no love. I'm waiting for that sign from up above, above the maybe they're waiting on some healing. Maybe they're waiting on some healing. Maybe waiting for. Maybe waiting for. Maybe waiting
Act 2. At Rise, about an hour later, the celebration of war sounds have passed over. Associate, with the sponge and bucket nearby, sits alone cleaning her wound. Associate cleans the blood in the room. Elder enters with food and drink.
I say, associate.
I say, Elder.
They salute each other.
Well, let's try this rabbit stew here again.
Elder sets down the food and drink and eats.
Thank you. Secretary Reston.
Actually, Secretary been slumbering longer than their Jesus been since slavery.
1619 been a long time to be slumbering.
Oh, that's what he been doing. Not even the snores of this sinful world been able to wake him.
And them overseers want the culture to believe that this is the same Jesus that rose from the dead in 3 days with that poison they preach from the pulpit every Sunday, when he ain't even rose to stop this bondage.
Well, the holy her rose to stop this bondage from her tomb after her crucifixion.
Her lynching.
True. It was a lynching in one day, the holiest of days.
A God in man form would need 3 days to rise from all his labor.
I wish all those dynasty trips I took beforehand were at least 3 days. But between you and me, if what Dr. Station Master Jonas said to me is to be believed, they up to something underground. Instead of walking the lines, you might be riding the lines for little as 3 days, quick. Delivering dynasties of cargo gonna be easier in the future.
You truly admire him, don't you?
Elder can't help but unearth a smile. It's contagious.
Jonas ain't my charcoal Charleston, though.
And he ain't gonna be because he don't got to be. Don't mean you ain't got to enjoy yourself. So you better prance your life across that stage of your life away, like a pony youngling to the carrot of your life. Oh, when the sun comes back and the first quail calls,
follow the drinking gourd.
For the old man is a-waiting for to carry you to freedom if you
follow the drinking gourd.
Now the river bank
makes a very good road. The dead trees will show you the way. Left foot, peg foot, traveling on.
Follow the drinking gourd.
Elder praise prances.
Oh.
All right, Pegfoot. Careful with all that prancing over there, little pony youngling. Didn't clean the blood up over there yet.
Oh, you don't have to do all that.
Oh, don't mind me. Just need to make myself useful.
Well, cleaning all that blood don't look like it's been useful to your arm, my sweet. You're going to make things worse for yourself with all that effort.
I need to pull my weight, Elder.
You got so much weight weighing heavy on you already, though.
That's the best time to pull. Builds strength, sharpens character.
Associate continues to clean. She hums, follow the drinking gourd.
I call blood out by his name, Mr. Crimson. I seen Mr. Crimson warring all my life. When Mr. Crimson come around anywhere, polluting out his blood, he don't remind me of nothing but death.
Blood is life, Elder. Her life, if you will. We bleed out every month in a cycle of life telling us we still here, pumping and pressing forward. Like the life secretary is carrying.
All your talk of life don't make no sense to me when you were gonna take secretary's life and your own.
I wasn't gonna spill secretary's blood. If anything, I was gonna kill that vanity of hers. Vanity got her up to cloud 9. Someone she encountered one day gonna bring it down to 0.
Forget about secretary. What of your life were you gonna take?
It was a moment in time that passed.
That's not a feeling that just passes by like some comet. It's an earth that's gonna orbit the sun in your mind every so often.
Maybe it is. But a wise woman told me at my ceremony, this is your holy decree. You were because someone would. You do because someone else done. You will because someone willed you to be. I got a job to do and freedom to secure. And if those words you spoke and my duty one day fail me, I'll deal with that moment then. You mind taking a moment and soldering that uniform, Mommy?
Elder assists associate with her uniform.
Secretary may be carrying the child, but you the one carrying the wisdom. There's no denying you got lines of wisdom walking in you that already done surpassed me. And for that, I envy you truly. I pray for that wisdom of yours never miscarry. Where's your tignon? It glows so beautifully on your skin.
Over there, under the table.
Elder walks over to the table, picking up the tignon. Her eye catches a paper on the table. Elder is frozen.
It's what I think it is.
Oh, that thing just them patriots talking a bunch of shit in that Declaration of Independence. First couple of lines in there, an outright lie. All men equal? No mention of any kind of women. I guess women just good for the breedings and not for representation in the legal proceedings.
No more bad talk tonight about that or anything. We all had enough of it.
Elder wraps associate's tignon around her head.
You know, you always talk about bad talk, But you ever think that bad talk can actually be healing talk, Elder?
Read the third column. Very last name.
Ben,
Silently. Don't you dare say another syllable of that name.
I know who this white man is to America, but who is this white man to you?
My violator. To the seventh column, ninth name. Read the name in silence. Other violator.
They're both quite famous.
Now those two, and the 5 Quaker men who weren't signers or famous, ran a railroad under my dress on the ground during a Sunday sermon. Tried to appeal to those white Quaker women in the pews as a woman, not as a colored, thinking that'll help me. And I screamed, "Ain't I a woman? Ain't I a woman?" Yes, I wasn't no woman, because the only thing those women did was turn them pages to John 3:16 and sat in their pews. Told myself after that, I'm colored first before I'm ever a woman.
Release them. Release their names.
I have released them.
No, you haven't. You just said my violator, my other violator owned me. You still claim an association with these would-be men. They do not own you, Elder. Ain't you tired from carrying their Plymouth rocks?
The holy her would
What
be...
does Elder say?
I don't know.
I think you do know.
I want my nightmares to stop and for their nightmares to begin.
Rise, Elder. Rise. Spiritual daughter of Mother Methuselah, the first elder and daughter of the mighty empire of Sahel. All you have to do is call them out by their names, and I declare not only will their nightmares begin, their names will remain unclean until the end of time.
Elder struggles as she rises.
I release you, Admiral Witherspoon. I release you, Bill Penn. I release you, Charles Guernsey. I release you, Ezra Putnam. I release you, Bartholomew Barclay.
Those are 5 names. You said there are 7. Release them all, Elder, in your time.
I release you. I release you, Ben. I release you, Benjamin.
I'm feeling much better.
We're right in the middle of something. You interrupting.
I'm so sorry. I didn't miss out honoring life, did I?
We'd never declare honor to these names here.
What names are you calling out then?
Are we going to keep acting out of order and forget who we are tonight?
I say associate. I say elder.
I say secretary.
Associate salutes secretary. Elder does not salute nor greet Ase to secretary. They peep this.
Elder, let's continue to release.
We'll figure that stuff out in the promise.
Some things need to be done before the promise.
I done said what I said.
You can't keep using your rank to put things off because bad talk makes you uncomfortable.
So I'm just gonna clean up the area and we can head out and get that family. I slumbered so well and I'm not hungry. So please don't mind me over here.
Secretary starts cleaning. Elder clocks her.
When our Paradise Express, our underground station, caught fire, You opened up your pockets so generously, we were able to open up another local underground station. But it was met with a condition. Give you a pupil seat without testing in like every other member does. My superiors allowed it, said how you were legacy because of Crispus Attucks and one of the culture's talented 10th. And your money talked its way into our halls and walked the lines. But you proved to be different than your money. You studied to show yourself approved and still worked hard. And because of that, I nurtured you, elevated you, even mothered you. And yet you lied to me about your unholiness.
I was going to tell you at the promise, just like you were going to tell me at the
Don't try me with innocence. I cannot hide your error, but I can protect your error the best way I can. We will be delivering Dynasty 26 to the promised, but first, we will detour east to Framingham, where your Narragansett people live, and deliver you to them. You are on sabbatical.
Elder, you can't be serious.
Serious as smallpox.
So I get punished while Associate, this attempted murderer, gets what for her sins?
And I'm truly sorry about how you feared for your life when I wasn't in my right mind.
They're all sorry.
You need to calm yourself.
Tame your tongue.
Associate's nothing but a broom breaker.
I could protect Associate in her foolish folly.
Folly?
Fornication.
Oh, pot! I have a kettle for you to meet.
Legend by the lamppost is that Associate been known to rid her body of life brewing inside her on more than one occasion.
I am not here for gossip.
It ain't no gossip if it's the truth. I don't see Associate denying anything.
Who said I deny any of my choices?
See what I mean?
Associate, how could you?
Associate bringing death to the culture she claimed to love so much. I'm bringing life through new lines to the culture, and I'm the sinful one? I choose life. This harlot chooses death. How are you, as elder, picking and choosing what sins we value more than others?
For me, it's not about what sins we rank higher than others. Sin is sin to me. It's about whose sins I can cover up because others above me rank in sin differently. And I can't cover up an unwed mother with child.
I can't go to Framingham. What those people did to me made my daddy never speak to them for the rest of his life. And you want me to walk back to their bloodlines?
You a young woman of a certain color who is a daughter of privilege because of sponsors. You can buy yourself a house, put a ring on your left finger, and wear all black, passing for a war widow. Some young colored man will soon scoop you up.
Elder, please, I beg of you to reconsider.
Oh, stop whining, Secretary. Elder know what the world gonna do once they find out about your widening womb. But I know what Jude gonna do when he find out too.
What do you think you know about my Jude?
I know Jude ain't gonna jump no broom. But I know he certainly jumps on some broom.
Excuse me?
Oh, come on, Secretary. All that learning you did with your books ain't provide you with any clues of life that been staring you right in the face.
My Jude's not on sweet stuff.
He certainly collects a lot of sugar in his Trojan horse, though. Nay, nay, nay.
Associate.
The way Jude makes me moan all those times he was in me proves that nothing about him is sweet stuff.
Funny how I heard him moan when that man was all in him at Station Master's barn.
You lie!
Were we not all there at dinner once when his own father commented on how he sometimes worries about Jude's nature? Right, Elder?
Don't you bring no elder into this gossip.
People just think things like that because Jude's pretty.
Is Jude pretty, or is he just light-skinned?
Go to hell.
I know what I watched.
You watched this encounter?
I went by the barn to ride a horse, and I saw Jude in the barn riding a different kind of horse.
And where was the holy her in you when you were a watcher in unmarried unholiness?
I I wasn't thinking about the holy her.
And that's your first problem. She was absent from your thoughts because you treated yourself to unholiness.
Forget what I saw then. Did you ever have a thought of your own about Jude's nature, Secretary?
I don't want to hear any more of this bad talk.
And neither do I. I don't care about the boy's true nature. What I care about, it's what's going to happen to Secretary because of what happens to be in Secretary. That's why I came up with this plan. And this plan still stands, regardless of Associate's gossip full of glee.
I'm doing Secretary a favor.
I'm doing a favor to you, Associate.
If Jude was serious about Secretary, he would have been jumped a broom with her all them times we done been to the promised. Instead, he just spilled his pollen in Secretary.
And that's for Secretary to decide who he is, not you, Associate.
Secretary, Jude the type to give you 3 weeks and have you be chasing him those 3 weeks for years. I've been there. Look, do what Elder suggests and save yourself the trouble. Go to framing him.
I am learning so much about the depths of your unholiness. You will never advance and become me one day with those thoughts. You are not worthy of being an elder right now.
Elder, you save any of that rabbit stew there?
Associate and I ate it all.
And the quail?
Elder says that's for when we walk the
Where's the quail?
in the bag.
Secretary opens the bag and unwraps the quail. Secretary devours the quail.
I memorized Jude's heartbeat the same way I memorized them poems. They both got a specific rhythm to it. When I know a poem well, I know when a word is off, making the poem funny. Because I knew Jude so well. I memorized when his heart is off because his feelings in his mind make his heart flutter. Jude wouldn't whisper sweet nothings in my ear. He belts melodies of music soaring as sweet somethings in my ear. And now I memorize this baby's heartbeat, and it sounds like Jude's.
Secretary cries as she stuffs her mouth with quail.
Secretary,
Associate, you done said enough. Start packing. Now.
Elder helps Associate with the packing.
Secretary, we'll talk more about this on our way to Framingham.
No.
Elder uses all the time she needs turning around.
Secretary, you a danger girl.
What did you say, child?
No. I said no.
Huh. I thought so.
I sailed all over the islands and coasts on the east with Daddy's stevedore job. Traveled back and forth to the promised with this job. And with this yellow-boned baby here, it will give me the job of having a real family as a mother where I can finally plant me down some roots instead of me digging out somebody else's roots to plant. These roots don't include Framingham. They include Jude.
Rise, Associate. Rise.
But I'm not the one who said that.
Drop the resignation papers for Secretary. I will be accepting her resignation tonight. Oh, and make note of how this will be a dishonorable discharge, effective immediately.
Don't bother, I quit.
You a goddamn fool.
I thought we don't mention that God in here. Ain't that what you told me this evening, huh?
I thought you quit. Go. Jude live that away.
Who have we become tonight? Children with petty grievances, that's who.
Refuse to see Jude the way I see him because you looking at him through the microscope of how all them other men did you.
Secretary, just shut the fuck up.
Now, I'm sorry what them Quaker men ain't respect you and that none of your 5 broom marriages ain't never worked. You never found love, but my experience is.
Elder slaps Secretary and pushes her against the wall, clocking her. Secretary screams, but holds her own and throws Elder down. Associate, with what's left of her good arm, attempts to separate the two, but the fight quickly escalates.
Stop it! The both of you!
Associate grabs secretary, who pushes associate aside to get to elder and pushes elder hard. Elder is about to throw down, but secretary runs to the front door.
Secretary, come back here.
I'm not afraid to walk the line on my own.
Let her ass march to the promise then.
I will.
See how far acting stupid we'll get.
I'm not stupid.
I didn't say you're stupid. I said you're acting stupid.
Stop it. You're both not helping at all.
As secretary opens the door, a blast shakes the room. Secretary falls. Associate helps secretary up. Elder moves to the door.
Patriots.
And loyalists on the other side.
Get out your weapons, everyone, and take a position.
They scour for their weapons and get ammunition. The sound builds and the marches intensify.
Align that ancestral spine. Balance from your behind, and ladies, let us lift. Aim. Fire!
The women open fire and engage in battle. They are losing this battle. They take cover and the gunfire cease. We hear loyalists and patriots shrieking. Is it the holy her? One by one, sound by sound, the outside forces are killed by this mysterious force.
Is the coast clear?
On the outside, yes. But in your mind, no. Elder, you have 2 more names you need to release now. Not later in the promised. Not for the holy her, with all due respect. Not for the culture, but for you.
Associate hands Elder the gun. Elder aims.
I release you, Benjamin Franklin.
Shot 1 is fired.
I release you, Thomas Jefferson.
The final shot is fired. A moment. Elder blossoms in her freedom, content and whole. Elder walks to center stage.
Come on through. Walk the line with me to the promised. Let all of us honor life.
Secretary and associate join Elder. Associate walks downstage right. Secretary walks downstage left, forming a triangle.
Past.
Elder, whom among the old names do you honor life tonight?
Tonight I honor life to Nzinga Mbandi.
For the culture.
Associate, whom among the old names do you honor life tonight?
Tonight, I honor life to Kizzy of Moist Milk.
For the culture.
Secretary, whom among the old names do you honor to life tonight?
Tonight, I honor life to Crispus Attucks.
For the culture. Nzinga Mbandi.
Kizzy of Moist Milk.
Crispus Attucks.
For the culture.
Mother, you've allowed me to deliver successfully Dynasty.
Aksum.
Bakwezi.
Keyur.
Dahomey.
Ezenarai.
Fahitimid.
Gamegu.
Hutu.
Igbo.
Hola.
Luba.
Mandinka.
Nubia.
Ogun.
Fathi.
Punt.
Kelamana.
Uwanda.
So.
Tachamba.
Umbundu.
Vondila.
Welitu.
Xhosa.
Yoruba.
Zulu.
25 dynasties. 1,772 colored children, colored women, colored men, all of them safely to the promised. And on this dynasty, my last trip, Dynasty 26 with therefore, will bring my total to 1776, the number of our year. Allow me to retrieve and lead yet another dynasty safely again.
For the culture.
For the culture.
Present.
We cannot honor life of those who passed before us as we build new dynasties into the future if we do not honor the life of those we stand side by side with in the present to do our task.
I thank the holy her for my secretary.
I thank the holy her for my associate.
I thank the holy her for my elder.
And
I pledge to heal her, ordain her, love her, yearn for her, hear her, edify her, rejuvenate her.
For you are my sister in this journey.
For you are my blood in this journey.
For you are my life in this journey.
For the culture.
Future.
Prepare to honor life to the 26th dynasty entered in the book of the holy her.
Secretary picks up the book.
Mother, tonight we christen you with the new dynasty of names whose lives we have the honor of delivering.
Luther Komet. Shirley Komet. Issachar Komet. Ida B. Komet.
For the culture.
You have summoned this dynasty, Komet, into our bosom. As we trace those same steps once more on the revolutionary roads. Be our ears when silence falls upon our ears. On this journey, no bounty hunter shall we fear.
For the culture.
Act as our discernment when the darkness prevents our eyes to see. And grant us safe passage and service our plea. We may not know our way back to the first lands of Punt,
for the culture,
but we know our way to the promised. As you bless our walk, let us also honor the lives for the women whose babes were plucked from their blossoming breasts.
For the culture.
For our men made into emancipated eunuchs. For our girls who shrieked no into their mother tongues.
For the culture.
For our boys bullied with bloody bullets. For anointed from the ashes of the Ashanti golden crowns to Dynasty Komet.
For the culture will burn the myrrh gum from mother's horn tonight.
Dynasty Komet. For the culture will dance like Dingane, danced in royal robes of indigo as they greet Dynasty Komet.
We take up this space for the culture to come during this time of war.
We take up this space for the culture to come during the times of peace.
For those in the culture unable to journey with us tonight.
We see you.
We hear you.
And our hands are prepared to secure a place for you.
We were.
Because someone would. We do. Because someone else done. We will. Because someone willed us to be. We are wholly hers. We are what she says that we are. A holy her, worthy of the holy her.
I say.
They salute each other and then inhale and exhale in unison. A radiant light enters. She is here, like she has always been, and magnifies every face, including the audience. Her invisible hands open the front door, lighting a path to walk the line. Secretary picks up her bag and exits. Associate picks up her bag and exits. Elder picks up her bag and exits. Her invisible hands shut the door. Lights out. End of play.
Running away from my own tears, sailing across my own ocean of fears. Doubt me, no. came across. Fury waves, how others set their sails, I am at a loss. Soaring above the highest cloud, fighting the wind to never be found. Down me, no. Cast away. If I don't let go now, I might stay this way. Building a boat takes time to measure. Building a boat, no time for pleasure. Building a boat, yeah. Takes time to measure. Building a boat. No time for pleasure.
Dynasty commit.
Yes.
Let me play every part now.
So before we get started, I just want to give a round of applause to our dope as fuck all female cast tonight. Yes. My soul needed that. How are you feeling?
Overwhelmed.
You were like nervous.
I was. I allowed myself to feel vulnerability in front of people.
That's great. I mean, you're an actor. You should be used to that in a certain way.
Yeah, but I'm as a human.
That's real too.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to write this play? I know you mentioned in the first question, touched upon Black women in the Revolutionary War. So like, you want to expand on that and what brought you to this idea?
I just wanted to know what Black women were doing during the Revolutionary War.
Right. Because we hear about it so often.
Well, we hear about what white men were doing. We hear about what Black men were doing, because we fought in every war since the foundation of this country. But I didn't see anything that was given the same credence of Black women. So, but at the same time, I didn't want to be. I was as much as I was inspired by history, I didn't want to be bound by history. So I was also just inspired by, what did my ancestors believe, or what did they not believe, and what were they doing when they were first kidnapped over here, and I don't think a lot of research shows that they weren't Christian. They were either Muslim or they believed in their different deities. So I just wanted to create a world where a female deity was honored, and what this means to the different African nations, empires, and tribes that were kidnapped over here. Because the Holy Her means, because this is part of a quartet of plays. This is play number 2, and the Holy Her means something different in depending on where in Africa you're talking about. The Holy Her is going to mean something specific to that region. But here in America, since we were all kidnapped over here, and there's many different tribes, it's going to mean they're going to incorporate everybody here.
And so how did you develop what the Holy Her was in your play? What did you use for inspiration?
Actually, I used a lot of Christianity, which was inspired by that, because I have a line in here, in the name of the mother, which is inspired by in the name of the father, which we said a lot in church growing up. So I used a lot of Christianity to inspire me, and just a lot of spiritual teachings, and just research about different African deities and what they could possibly believe. And I didn't want to be constrained by that. I just wanted to just go out there with creating whatever she is.
Which of the African deities were you, I guess, most transformed by, transfixed by, inspired by?
Well, I looked to history first, because through Crispus Attucks, because what we believe of him, we believe that he is of Narragansett origin, and that his father was of Yoruba descent. So I looked up a lot of the Yoruba culture for that, and then
yay, Nigeria.
Huh? Yes, yes, yes.
I'm Nigerian. We're obnoxious. Yeah. So sorry.
I wouldn't say that. So yeah, I use history as a starting point to where I should go to.
And how did you approach writing this play where you don't center whiteness, patriarchy, Christianity, for these women specifically, and how did that relate to a lot of the Black history during the Revolutionary War time that you really infused in your play?
Oh, I might need you to say that again.
Yeah, sorry, it's a mouthful. It's a lot. So I guess I wanna know more about the connection where your play doesn't center, in my opinion, doesn't center whiteness or the patriarchy or Christianity for these women. Yet at the same time, you are also you really have lots of moments where you talk about Black history.
Yeah.
Specifically during the Revolutionary War. So we hear about Phyllis Wheatley.
Oh yeah, you hear a lot about their contemporaries and Benjamin Banneker,
Right.
Jupiter Hammond.
Yeah. So how did you like balance the like Black history during that time with not centering all of these things that tend to center everything else?
Yeah, because you know those narratives with Christianity and whiteness have, you know, they've been told a lot, and I was inspired by, you know, who were the famous Black people back in the day, and Phyllis Wheatley was one of the most famous ones. And I specifically wanted to look for famous Black woman of the day, and she was that person, and it fit the time period.
Yeah.
So I was glad that it worked out, and I'm glad that her poems were in the public domain.
Yeah.
Because it fit in with the spirituality and the lyricism and the poetic nature of what of these three women, and I wanted to showcase what I wanted to know what the discourse on Black thought was back in the day, because we don't have that. We don't have that discourse. But I know these conversations were happening. They just weren't a matter of public record until like 100 years later with Reconstruction.
Right.
And I wanted to know what did they think about them? Did they like them? Did they hate them? And we see that with the big debate with Phyllis Wheatley. We see in her work that she was very anti-Black. But you see somebody with Secretary who elicits the act of empathy to understand why she's holds anti-Black thoughts, because I mean she was kidnapped when she was 7 years old, betrayed by her own tribe, and brought over here, and I can have sympathy for her, you know. The Secretary has sympathy for her, but associate somebody who would not have sympathy for her, because I also wanted to bring 2019 into 1776,
right, for the culture.
And just because like nowadays we have cancel culture, like if somebody famous does something or tweets something or Instagram something or writes something, a lot of people are resolute to cancel them, and some people are open to giving them another chance. So I wanted to put that in a classical sense, using Phyllis Wheatley as an example of associate being somebody who's like, nah, I'm canceling her, she's done. And pulling up her receipts as to show why she is done. She said, what did she say? Christians, Negro, Black as Cain. Sable race, and the way she's describing our melanin is horrible and anti-Black.
Right.
But and there's people who would understand that, but I would elicit, me as the playwright and as just somebody who read a lot of her works, I'm not going to I wouldn't cancel Phyllis. And I would encourage scholars not to cancel her, because she had a lot to say. You just have to understand the context in which she's reading it, which is what the context in which she wrote it, and the time period, and the context with the mentality of why she thought what she thought. So yeah.
And then how, as you were approaching writing this play, how did you, with the play that has so many, like, I guess, not religious undertones, but spiritual undertones,
yes.
How did you not center Christianity, even though you do pull from Christianity for a holy her? Approach writing that.
Just don't talk about Jesus and God, you know, like they felt a certain way about that. And I tried to honor that as somebody who does believe in some Christian principles. I just wanted them to have their own distinct versions of what they think of the holy her is for them. And, you know, following protocol, and just different aspects of what they felt by that. I don't like being trapped. As much as I was inspired by different religions, I wanted to give freedom for this to be its own thing.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. And then I know that this play specifically has gone through like a lot of like reshaping and redevelopment, especially as it led up to this evening. So like what with your changes with your director, Nilan, how did those discussions come about as you redeveloped and shaped this play? Especially for audio.
Well, there's lines in here definitely that will not be in the full stage productions that we felt needed to be said so listeners could understand the context of it. And I definitely wrote which ones I don't want in there for future things, but just trying to tailor it so everybody like associates shoots elder a look. That's something that's actable for this audience and for just for a production. But for the purposes of the recording, they would miss that. They would miss that. Right. So lines like that, because this started off as a 10-minute play, and then I said, "Oh, I have some more things to say." So it was a 15-minute play. Then it became a 1-act play. And then I said, wait a minute, should I give an intermission and make it 2 acts? And then I gave it 2 acts. And it was 1,000 pages at one time, but we did cut it down.
You real tight from 1,000.
Really did. Yes.
So we're going to start wrapping up. So it's a question I've been asking all of our playwrights this season. What is the best thing about being a playwright of color?
That I get to speak of my own experience. I get to center my experience. I get to center the experience of other marginalized people. And I wanted to showcase Black women, elevate them, give 3 Black women great enriching roles where they could just sink their teeth into, give them a monologue that they can use in an audition, not center maleness, not center whiteness, not center Christianity. I just wanted to center us. And I wanted to center the most marginalized of us, which is the Black woman. And I wanted to elevate them. And through this piece, what was the other part of your question?
That was it.
Oh, wait.
Oh, well, what's the best thing about being a playwright of color?
Oh, yes. I get to move myself from the margins and place myself in the center and my experience and my people, my culture, my traditions, and bring other people along with me and, bring and teach and introduce his aspects of history that may not have been, that aren't part of the public discourse.
Right.
And offer, something what may be a controversial thought about Phyllis Wheatley. She's taught every month and during Black History Month, but like this is what she really thought, but let's really analyze why she thought like that. We weren't taught that during the 28 days during Black History Month, which is something that should be celebrated all year. So I just wanted to it's just good. I just wanted to.
You just love being a playwright of color.
Yes, I do. I do. Because I just want to be that person that introduces new, interesting, different perspectives to the world. So
yes. Next, second to last question. This one's a doozy. Go for it. 60 seconds. If Trump were in the room, what would you say to Trump?
Confess and resign. I can't give no more. I can't give headspace to that. No more. It's not about him. It's about playwrights of color. I can't center that. I can't center that in this work.
Okay. What about this? Is a much more lighthearted one.
Yes.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning? You just were so taken aback.
Because I was thinking, what did I do today? What did we have at Starbucks? I had that. Oh yeah. And they took forever making it. I had the,
What was
but no
it?
shade to Starbucks. But should we shade them because of that controversy? But
What
you
was
better
it?
edit this. Oh, fuck it. I am who I am. I'm an Aquarius. Whatever.
Wait, what did you have at Starbucks?
I'm getting to that. I had a spinach feta wrap, and I had a lemonade thing that was 90 calories, which is why I got it. It was 90 calories and it didn't have sugar. That was a little too much information, but that's what I ate for breakfast.
I mean, if you like it, I love it.
Oh, I did it. It was actually good. So
I would hope so. So it's time to say our thank yous as we wrap up for this evening.
Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, beautiful cast.
Oh my God, that's
family.
my line. I literally have a script to say that.
Well,
wow, you just showboating. Okay, I guess you are Oprah. We had an Oprah Gail moment, and I said
Oprah's
I
an
was
Aquarius,
Oprah.
and I'm an Aquarius too. So I'm just like,
we had a moment.
Well, you know what? Gail just made $11 million with her new deal. It's not bad to be a Gail. So,
you're like richer than I. Are we ruined now?
Huh?
I thought you were supposed to be elevating me. Why am I not Oprah?
I want to be Gail and I want to be Oprah. There's a way. Come on now.
We can be both together.
We can be both. I am both.
Okay.
I guess, but
I'm just selfish. I'm just a little.
But thank you everybody for coming out. And Nilan, the legendary director, and the legendary Parsnip Ship for, making this beautiful night happen with the recording and the artists and just the space. I'm really happy, and I will go to bed whole. Thank you.
Yes, it's like an Oscar speech.
Oh, it's already prepared, but I'm not going to give it to you guys now. Not even the truncated version.
So for the real outro, thank you. Oh, Phillip, you and I are going to have so much fun together. Thank you again to the Actors Fun Arts Center for hosting us tonight, as Phillip has mentioned. I'd like to thank our awesome cast tonight: Alisha Espinosa, Daralyn J, Cherrye J. Davis, and Jasmine Saunise. Woo! A Holy Her was directed by Nilan. Woo!
Great
It was
director.
written by Phillip Gregory Burke. With music by Maya Sharpe. Thank you to Fernando Castillo, our sound engineer.
Yes, beautiful sound. Beautiful sound.
And Luke DeCola, our sound editor.
Yes, you did good too.
He's going to love that when he listens to it.
Hey, I'm only telling the truth.
Our TPS team: Todd Kirkland, managing director; Katie Donnelly, producing director; Al Parker, artistic associate;
Yes.
Rai Long, artistic associate; and Jesse Manning, producer. Thank you all for listening to The Parsnip Ship. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Parsnip Ship NY. All of our previous episodes are available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. Our recent episodes that are now available to listen to again are Farmed, Ragged Claws, and World Classic. Our last live recording for season 4 will be here at the Actors Fun Arts Center on Wednesday, June 5th for a Shiro's Journey, or What Anakoana and Yamaya Taught Me by Guadalis del Carmen. You can find out more information about future episodes on our website, theparsnipship.com. This episode was produced by The Parsnip Ship and Business Lunch Productions. The Parsnip Ship is a fiscally sponsored project of Brooklyn Arts Council. New plays, new music. This is how we hear theater. And we're going to wrap up tonight with our last song by Maya Sharpe.
This is no way out of you. This is no way out of you. no way out of here. I think I'll die in this box. No, I won't forget I said how this world doesn't own my soul. If my blood's made up of stars, these four walls, they must come from gold. They feel cold, they feel silent, they feel just like a stone wall. This is no way out of here. This is no way out of you. This is no way out of you. I think I'll die in this box. Heavy rain days when I bled, count this pain as I strip this dirt. Blessed by a wind up in my head, lay your hands on this darkened flood. They're built old, they're built so dead, they're built from blood and bone.
You're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.